Today is Sunday, May 24th, 2020, and about 1:30 in the afternoon on a just beautiful, beautiful day. Got a little bit of fog. Those are like little fog pieces. Ocean is that way. And mostly blue skies, a little breezy. Not windy though. It's really, really nice. It's just a nice day. Really nice day. Good day to be outside with the bees. And we were just out here yesterday, and what I did yesterday was I took my cell builder frame and I put it in there, and then what I did was I went through this big hive and took a bunch of resources from them. I took either six or seven frames, I can't remember now, including some capped brood and some stores, and that's about it. So capped brood and stores mostly. There was one frame or two frames I think that had eggs and some larvae and stuff on it, so I'm going to see if those will be good to graft with. They're in there, and what we're going to do is get into this hive here, just kind of pry it apart, take out the grafting frame, and then find the frame that has the young larvae on it. Use this little bee brush here to just gently shake them off, brush them off, and then we'll take that frame and the cell builder into this area here where I will do the actual grafting. This is my janky greenhouse. It's nice and calm in here, so I'm just gonna set the frame on this. This is a laptop stand, an old one that we just had laying around, and then I have one of these Chinese grafting tools. And it's a very simple device. It's just a little piece of bamboo and a little bit of plastic and this spring, and what you do is got this scoop on it there, so you reach into the cell. Oh, it's not wanting to focus on it now. There we go. Wait. Oh, that's not focusing, sorry. There we go. So you take this little bit and you reach into the cell with it and kind of scoop out sort of like this. And this is pretty flexible. This little plastic thing here just is pretty flexible. So you reach in, scoop under it, and get as much of the royal jelly as you can, and really try not to damage the larva. And then you take it and you take it to your cell builder, and then you just push on the little plunger here, and what it does is it pushes this piece of wood here, and then that pushes the larva into your prepared cell. So you just kind of set it and then slowly, carefully push and lift it out at the same time. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's the theory. I have never been successful. I tried once 2 years ago and I failed. Not a single one took. So this will be a learning experience for me, but hopefully it works, because if it does, then I'll be able to make some nice new queens. Locally mated, locally bred, homegrown queens. And queen rearing is universally advocated as one of the best skills you can learn as a beekeeper in order to be self-sustaining. Because if you don't know how to build queens or make queens, and all of a sudden one of your hives becomes queenless and you don't have any queens laying around, then you're in a bit of a trouble. You're gonna have to order a new queen. Hopefully it arrives in time. Hopefully she's a good queen. Hopefully she does okay in your climate. a lot of the queens in California come from Central California, which has a much, much different climate than this area. I mean, Central California in summertime, in July, August, September, you know, you can hit triple digits, you know, 100 degrees, 105, 110 degrees sometimes. An average day in the summertime over there is 90 degrees. So that's much, much, much warmer and much, much, much drier than it is here. It's still fairly green here. And in Chico, for example, which is about 200 miles east of here, it is already completely brown, dried out for the summertime. No more rain has been falling, and it's just completely different. So that's kind of the point of the story. It's very different climate, and a queen from that area might think that this weather that we still get in summertime, when it's still July, August, September, a queen from that area might think, oh, it's springtime because it's 60 degrees and sunny, and they might swarm on you. So that actually happened to me when I had packages that came from Central California my first year of beekeeping, or my first year of buying bees actually, which was my second year of beekeeping. First year of beekeeping, I got freebies from a neighbor. A swarm had moved in, and I wasn't able to tend to them properly because I was planning my wedding at the time. So they ended up not making it, and then the packages that I got, they swarmed in July. Actually, it was just one package. I take that back. It was one package. It swarmed in July, and I was able to capture the swarm, but they never recovered from that, and they ended up not making it either. So, where was I going with this? Anyway, the nukes that I started with the year after that came from Southern Oregon, sort of kind of like Southwestern Oregon, which is closer to the climate here. It's still warmer, still drier, but much closer. Like summers there are in the 80s and 90s versus 90s and 100s. So a little bit closer, and it is rainier and cooler. Spring is longer, summer shorter, that kind of thing. And the bees have been propagated from those two nukes since, and that was 4 years ago, I want to say. 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. And that's where we are today. And the point of all that was to say, now that I have kind of figured out, at least well enough, how to not kill everybody as best I can, now the time has come to learn how to do grafting and to do it properly. So that's where we are today, and that's what we're going to try to figure out. So enough of my rambling. I've been rambling for 5 minutes now. I'm going to just go ahead and put on my gloves, just set up the camera, and we're going to dive in and hopefully just be able to get in there real quick, grab what I need to get, and we'll move into the greenhouse and do our grafting. And then I'm also going to take a frame, at least one frame from the hive that the phone is sitting on now, which is the smaller one, and then put that to sort of round it out a little bit. I don't have my smoker. Once again, I think this is now the second inspection done without it. So I'm lazy. That's all it comes down to. So I'm lazy. Just as simple as that. Try to make excuses like, oh, I'm just going to get right in and out. But the long and short of it is, I'm lazy. Alright. Now I need to remember, I should have marked these things, which ones have the eggs that I'm going to use, the brood or whatever. Or, if I remember right, a couple frames that were going to be good. One of these had young larvae in it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this one does have some young larvae that I can use. I'm going to go ahead and use this guy. One with a brush. Simply, first actually, before I do that, I'm going to take out my grafting plate. What the bees have done is they have very diligently gone and polished all this up. It's very shiny, all prepped, ready to go. So that's the purpose of putting it in there. Just for 24 hours, you know, they'll clean it up and get it all ready to go. Okay, now take my frame here, move these out of the way. They don't like that. We'll try to be gentle as possible. I mean, this is a pretty upsetting operation to do to them. They do not like this. And that's it. So all the bees have been brushed off. There's larvae available. Nice worker larva there. So this is what we'll be using. There's not a ton, like this is drones, I think. Drones. There's some worker over here. And then There's worker. There we go. Like this section here, this is worker. So yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this. I'll be right back. Okay, now let's go to the greenhouse. Okay, now I gotta figure out where I'm gonna actually put this camera. So if this is making you a little motion sick, I'm sorry. Not intentional. For all 5 of you that have watched. Okay, now I need to figure out what's the best place to put this camera so that I can see what the heck it is that I'm doing. I wonder, maybe just position it. I guess that'll work. It'll work okay, I guess. Bee on my hat. Okay. So I'm going to try to work fast. And what I'm also going to do, and I should have done this before, so I'm going to pop out these bars here. And I should also have a towel, but I don't. But I think it's okay. If not, then lesson learned. It's all about learning. That's what we're doing here. We're learning. Okay, so here is my tool, my little grafting tool. And all I'm going to do is look for some young larvae. I see eggs. I don't know if eggs will work. And I've never really been able to find a definitive answer one way or the other whether eggs will work or not for grafting. I'm inclined to just try, because I've got 26 or 27 spaces, so maybe I'll just try. Let's see. Before I experiment, I want to try the tried and true method first, and just get the young larvae to put in this top row. And this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them there. All right, so, and I guess you need to have pretty darn good eyesight, close-up eyesight, to do this. So that is one disadvantage if you do not have that. Just kind of scanning to see what kind of brood I have available. Sorry if my face is right in your face. And it looks like pretty much all of it is over here. Oops, is over here on this side, on the right side here. Alright, so I'm just gonna go for it. So again, I am reaching in and kind of twisting to pull it out. So that's, you can see that's how tiny it is. There is a larva on there. And then just place it into my prepared frame. Gently push it off. And then go back for more. And these, I can see that these are just fresh, brand new, hatched, probably either today or yesterday larvae. So just what I'm looking for. They're so small, so delicate. I really hope that this frame does not get blown over in the wind. You try to grab as much of the royal jelly that they're floating in as you can. A, because it's food, and B, because it will help keep them from drying out. As you work on them. I really should have brought a towel. I kind of regret that now. Sometimes it can be hard to tell if you've even grabbed the larva. They're so small. last one got smashed. Try that again. Dang it. Smash that one too. Okay, that got it. Okay, so that's one bar. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here's this one, which has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as well. So on this one, I think I will try. I'm gonna put some eggs on there, see what happens. Maybe they'll take and maybe they won't. I kind of get the feeling they won't. I have no idea if this shows up. If I put my hand here. Trying to get it to focus. So there. That's an egg right there. That's how big they are. They are very, very small. About the size of, people say a grain of rice, but that is smaller than most grains of rice that I see. So that's a good, I mean those are a 1/16 of an inch long. I don't know how many millimeters that is. Sorry. Can't do that in my head, but they're pretty darn small. So will this work? I don't know. My guess is probably not. Especially not that one because I just smashed it. Let's try again. I mean, I'm gonna be smashing all the eggs out of this anyway. Yeah. So it doesn't matter that much if I screw it up. And the egg just stuck to the tool. Alright, so I don't think the eggs are going to work. That's fine. Let's just go back to getting the larva. And one thing that is important to keep in mind when doing this is not putting the larva in upside down. So, or flipped over, I guess would be another way, would be a better way to say it. So what you want, you pull it out this way. It's swimming in its jelly there, and you put it in. See if I can get it to show up. So there it is there. Let's see it. So you put it in the same way, because if you put it in upside down, it will drown. And that's not something I know from experience, but that's something I know from listening to people who are much more knowledgeable about this than I could ever imagine to be, or ever hope to be. So the experts say keep the orientation, and I say okay. I've also been finding so far as I've been doing this that it's been helping to close one eye when digging into the cell to pull out the larva. I don't know if that'll work for you, but it works. It's been working for me. So it's something to keep in your pocket. Toast. If you don't scoop it up in one fell swoop, don't even bother. Just wipe it and try again. Chances are you got plenty to choose from. Oops, smashed that one too. This is a very patience demanding exercise. Can't even tell if I picked up the larva on that one. I'm just gonna wipe it. Some people use headlamps when doing this. I figured since it was a nice, bright, sunny day, I did not need anything like that. Oh man, having bad luck. Another thing I've seen people do sometimes is kind of, oops, lost the larva on that one, is they will kind of supplement jelly. So if you don't grab a lot, sorry, just concentrating. If you're not able to grab a lot from the cell when you pull out the larva, sometimes what people will do is just poach larva or poach jelly from other cells to kind of supplement. Okay, so there's another one done. One more. This one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one less. So that's 8, 16, 23. So 23 total. I've got enough equipment to make, including frames of stores and whatnot. I've got enough equipment to make enough splits. I'll have, if depending on the take rate, as long as it's decent. Oh, that didn't work out very well. The long lane can hold 6 5-frame nukes, and then I've got enough equipment to make another 5 5-frame nukes, and I've got enough equipment to make 5 full-size hives. So, well, plenty of stuff. And these are survivor bees, survivor stock. Like I said yesterday, treatment free. Never once treated. I've fed them before, but I don't even really do that. Again, mostly because I am lazy. Can't be bothered to go through the hassle of making the sugar syrup or the fondant or any of that stuff. I've done it before. I know some people would say, what do you mean go through all the effort? You just dump a bag of sugar into a pot and add some water. Yeah, but that stuff is heavy. You have to lug it around. And you know what? I just don't want to do it. So, if I don't have to, then I won't. And honestly, for me, that's fine. If you want to feed your bees, if you want to treat your bees, that's fine. I'm not one of those my way or the highway types, you know. It's supposed to be fun. It's a fun hobby. Let's keep it that way. I think I'm running out of larvae. I'm not seeing any more. Oh, here's one. There are some, if I remember right, on the other side. I really wish I had, sometimes, not always, sometimes I really wish I had a much nicer camera. One that I could use to really show what is happening in these cells, what these larvae really look like, because it's really hard to see because they're so darn small. They're just so small. And unless you can really zoom in to see, then you don't have a frame of reference. But I think that's about all the larvae on this side I can get. There are eggs, but I'm gonna go and take those out because I don't want the bees making, oops, I don't want the bees making queen cells. With those, I want them to use my grafting. Ooh, crap. Oops, sorry. Sorry. Sticky, sticky honey. Yeah, that's yummy. Anyway, as I was saying, I don't want the bees to use these eggs. I want them to use my eggs, the eggs that I have put there for them, or the young. So I need just 2 more. I can get those. Okay, here's a good one. One more. Let's see. Let's go for this one. It's a nice small cell. Okay. So that's all the grafting done. It's just how it took it all in real time, so that's as long as it took. So, oh man, it just does not show up well. You can't see, but they're in there. Let's see, I'm trying to find one that's like really got a lot of royal jelly in it. So you can kind of see, but not really. It just does not show up well. They're in there though. Hope you'll believe me. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, so I'm just going to put this back down here. Put the bar in the frame. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go put this frame, this grafting frame back really quick so that the larvae are not out any longer than they need to be. And then I'm going to come back and sort of just kind of smash out all these eggs. So okay. Put my veil on. Gloves on. As I said before, and I'm sure I will say again, every time I get into these bees, gloves, suit, fail. Every time. Why? Because I don't like being stung. Love beekeeping, don't like being stung. I know it comes with the territory and I get stung. Happens. It's not the end of the world, but if I can avoid it, then I will. fix that. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my little mini hive tool here and just kind of, I want to do it this way. Maybe I can actually use the grafting tool. Then, well, I'm a little conflicted. So if I just kind of smash them, then the bees can come back and fix it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just kind of smash it a little bit. Destroy all these brood cells, or and if I don't get them all, it's not the end of the world. I just want them to focus on making the nice larvae that I gave them into queen cells rather than what they've already got. So I don't want to smash the worker brood, because they're gonna do some of the work here to raise the queens. Just kind of, and I don't know if this is something that people usually do. I just kind of thought it would work. Bees are very resilient creatures. They can come back and fix this. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Well, if they don't, I'll have egg on my face. But I think they will. I've put some pretty gnarly looking frames in my hive before, and they've come through and cleaned them up just fine. Conventional wisdom would say it's probably not a good idea. And, you know, I always just tend to think, what would the bees do if they were in nature? Nobody's going to come by and clean out your tree. Nobody's going to come by and put in foundation in your tree. So why use foundation? Why bother cleaning it out? Because in nature, instead of sorry for all the movement and doing things with my hands. In nature, wax moths clean up old comb, and the bees will build fresh and make any repairs if something collapses, and they just kind of figure it out. They've been around for a long time. They're very resilient little creatures, and I think people tend to worry about them too much. It's okay to worry, just don't worry excessively, you know. Alright, so now I'm going to put this frame back in here. And if I remember right, I had 2 frames that had eggs. And if I remember right, it was this one, just on the other side. Pull that one out. Oh yeah, it was this one, because this is the one that's got the funky cells on it. couple of queen cups. So there's one there. I'm just going to smash that. One there, smash that. And then there's a little bit of worker brood over here. I don't know if it shows up right in here. Just gonna use my tool and just sort of smash it. This is probably not on the camera. I'm trying to get it, but I don't. Sorry. Just kind of smash it up a little bit, kind of wreck their operations, make them mad, you know. I believe that was it. And again, if I don't get them all, it's okay. I'm just trying to get as many as I can. So I got the brood on this side here. I'm going to face it this way towards the cell builder. And then move the cell builder over. Move the other frame that's got the brood, capped brood, that over. This one's the honey frame. Move this one over. And then, actually what I want, I'm going to move this honey frame out of the way. And then what I want is to get into this hive really quick and just pull. I'm going to see if I can find a frame of some nice capped brood. Take one frame and just plop that right in there. So let's go ahead and set this up here. I just need one. That's all. One frame. So I'm taking one. I need to get one. Hang on. Okay, so this is just a frame from one of the dead outs. I think it's from actually the hive that the camera is sitting on. It's just a worker frame. It's got, there's just some drone brood over here on this side, but this is all worker size comb. So if I just take a comb of capped brood and stick this in there, then the queen will be able to just start laying right in it. So this is a good frame. Now, if I remember right, this hive is super snug. Let's try to get in here without causing too much trouble. So they are filling this with honey, so it is quite heavy. This one is drones. I can see the drones move. Caps worker breed. That's what I'm looking for. At this point, this hive should have some. This one's got a good amount. It's also got a lot of eggs. So I don't think I want this one. Got too many eggs, too much young brood. Also seeing if I can spot the queen. That'd be nice. Speed this up a little bit. I don't see her on this hive, or this frame. That's on the outside of the brood nest, so it's not terribly surprising. I might usually find her close to the middle of the brood nest. This one's got a lot of young larvae, so I don't use this one either. There's drones too. I'm not seeing the queen. She's here somewhere. But it doesn't look like she's on this frame. This is more like it. Okay. Now, make sure the queen is not here. I don't see her. Pretty sure she's not here. But I need to be 100% sure. So if she is, And if I put this frame into that hive, the bees that are in there will just ball her up and kill her. So I need to be 100% sure that she is not here. And it doesn't look like she is. Going to make one more pass. Workers, workers, workers. Lots of workers. Some drones. And no queen. Okay. So, should have grabbed the nuke box. Always something. I better go grab one. I always just try to remember to bring one every time. Almost always need one. So in that frame, I'm also going to need to go and smash all the eggs and very, very young larvae. I'm just going to continue through here really quick, see if I can spot the queen. If I do, then I'll feel better, because then I'll know where she is. It's always the not knowing that can be the nerve-wracking part. Don't know. And see some pretty fresh eggs on here. This is a pretty nice frame, brood frame, good laying pattern. It's a nice queen, as far as that goes. I just haven't seen her. Doesn't look like she's on here. So is that an okay-ish at spotting her? Don't see her. Ooh, this is really fresh eggs. Okay. I think queen is nearby. They're brand new. Ooh, where is she? Queenie, Queenie. I do not see her on this frame. So I would expect to see her around the middle of the frame. She's not here. This is just a drone frame. I wouldn't expect to see her here. You never know. It's possible I missed her in one of the other earlier frames I didn't look at. Not there. So, at this point, bees are starting to get pretty mad at me. I didn't smoke them. So, I'm just going to go ahead and close them up. Didn't spot the queen, but they have eggs in there. And I'll just do once more quick inspection of this frame that I took out. Make sure she's not on there. Put in this frame right here in the center so she can start laying in it. They'll clean it up, get it going, get it all prepped for it. just a real quick once over again to make 100% sure that she is not on this frame. I didn't see her in there, so I don't know for sure. Lots of workers, good amount of drones. I'm sure she's not hiding between the bottom of the frame and the bottom of the comb. Got the direct sun right behind me. I can see really well. Being very diligent. Sorry if it's boring. But I think it's important to take the time. Because if you mess up, then that's just time wasted. Penny saved is $1 earned, or a pound earned, or whatever the phrase is. Penny saved is $1 earned. Is that what it is? I can't remember. But I have gone over this frame many times now, and I can say, not with 100% certainty, but with, I'd say, 98, 99% certainty that the queen is not on this frame. So, that's good. Let's put this back in here really quick. Put in the outside frame of this hive. Okay, and it's in there. They have had enough of me, so let's close them up. Now, take my little tool, and same thing, just going to go and smash as many of these eggs on this frame as I can, within reason. I don't want to spend all day doing this. So the eggs, there's some here. Smash them. ones look okay. A little bit older than 3 days. As long as the larva that's left is older than 3 days, it's fine. How can you tell? Well, practice. That's really all it comes down to. You start to notice, you know, when you do an inspection, then you come back a few days later and you see, okay, what does it look like now in this frame that I looked at a few days ago? Oh, it looks like this now. Okay, so you make a mental note and say, this is what a 2-day larva looks like, or a freshly laid egg, or a larva that is getting ready to be capped, or, you know, whatever. All kinds of different things. There's no magic bullet. You just sort of have to look and see, and that's how you learn. And you will make mistakes. I've made plenty. I think I told the story yesterday of the very significant mistake that I made one year, a couple of years ago, with a long lang that I had. I felt really bad too, because that was a great hive, and I ended up killing it, so I felt really bad about it. But what I did was I was pulling 2 frames apart, and I hadn't noticed that the frames were stuck together, and of course they're all foundationless, and so and it was warm, it was a warm day, and they just sort of fell on top of each other and just made the biggest mess, and it was a full frame of capped brood. Just basically a whole generation gone. Just in one fell swoop. I felt really bad about that. Really bad. But you make mistakes. They're just, you know, they're just insects. Just bugs. They're special bugs, but bugs nonetheless. How many bugs have you stepped on in your life? Well, anyway, let's get this frame in here, and we will call it a day. I'm just going to stick it right next to the other frame that's got brood. I'm going to do this side, because this side's got more pollen. It's got a nice pollen strip across the top here. There's pollen on the back too, but this other side is better. Take that, plop it right in there, like so. And then that. That's a 9-frame split. And that's it. That's it for today. So, next time, a week from today, I wish I had a couple more days of 7, but I don't. So, I've got what I've got. So in 7 days' time, we'll come back. I will bust out the long lang. I think I had mentioned yesterday that the long lang was going to be coming out today. That was a mistake on my part. It's not coming today. It's coming next week, because this hive needs a week to build the queens if they're going to do any of that. So on Saturday, Saturday, next Saturday, I'm going to come out here, just kind of pull apart this queen builder a little bit and see if they've made some queens. And if they have, then I will go ahead and move forward with pulling the long laying out. And if they haven't, and they have done, my grafts have failed, then I'll probably pull the long laying out anyway, and split them up. Let's do some walkaway splits, because those will work. If I do a bunch of 5-frame walkaway splits, those will work just fine. I hope. I hope. By then it'll start to get it's going to start to get a little late to make queens and stuff around here. So like I said yesterday, the season is very, very short, and by August they're pretty much done making wax, and honey production is coming to an end. So it happens just like that, just a few months. But anyway, that is it for today. I'm sorry for all the camera moving around today. But if you've watched this whole thing, which I can see is now about an hour and a half, so wow. If you watched this whole thing, then thank you very much. And I hope you found it interesting. We are learning together, and we'll see what happened next time. Take care. Bye.